In today's video, I want to go over some more recently revealed CyberPunk 2077 gameplay information. Multiplayer is still not yet confirmed. It's still in the research and development phase, and we don't know for sure if it's actually going to be coming to fruition. And a new Game Plus mode is under investigation right now. Golem, a brand new PlayStation 4 exclusively to PlayStation VR, will be out later this year. Want to take a look at the information revealed about that game. No Man's Sky Beyond is doing incredibly well. It saw over 2 million players within week 1. First up, new CyberPunk 2077 information just came out of Gamescom 2019 to begin with. CD Projekt Red senior concept artist Martha Jonkers told Eurogamer that the multiplayer portion of the game is still very much in the R&D phase. It was noted, quote, "We are doing R&D into multiplayer, but we're focusing on single player experience, and that's what you'll get in 2020 when CyberPunk 2077 ships. It doesn't mean we're saying no multiplayer, but it doesn't mean we're saying yes either. It's still in R&D phase. If you add multiplayer functions, it has to be right. Immersion is super important for us, and we have to make sure everything fits together. The single player experience, it all fits together. We're not just gonna slap some multiplayer feature and that'll be it. It's possible if it doesn't fit in, it doesn't fit in. We would never make anything that's not at least the Witcher standard for CyberPunk 2077. I don't know what future holds, but we will make sure everything we make will be high quality." So it definitely looks like multiplayer is a possibility, and whenever a studio says something is a possibility, I'm led to believe that it's more so likely that it's gonna happen than it not being likely. However, they even said outright that doesn't mean multiplayer is happening, and it doesn't mean it isn't happening. I would be interested to see how CyberPunk 2077 facilitates a multiplayer experience, but at the same time, I don't care that much, given that we go into CD Projekt Red experiences for the single player experience, not for multiplayer. So if they just want to give me a quality single player campaign and a single player story, I will be absolutely happy with that. Hey, if multiplayer comes to the game as well and we retain the quality single player experience, that's absolutely fine as well, but I'm not going to lose sleep over not having a multiplayer portion of CyberPunk 2077. Additionally, in an interview with GameSpot, CDPR producer Richard Borzymowski said New Game Plus mode isn't guaranteed either, despite last month's report. The developers in the moment are looking for an implementation that can fit CyberPunk 2077. Here's what was noted. "What I can tell you is we are looking into a suitable idea for implementing New Game Plus. If and how has yet to be seen and talked about. Let's go with the two most basic approaches to New Game Plus or whatever. Complete example, either you finish the story and you're left in the open world, or you can start a new game with the character you've previously developed. With the first approach, in our case with CyberPunk 2077, the benefit of replaying or playing more is that there are many activities. I presume that most players will first finish the story rather than do everything there, because that's pretty time consuming. The other approach basically funnels you into one of the playstyles, right? So we're looking for a way to ensure that you're able to keep your progression, but are you still able to take a different path in order to see one of those parts hidden behind one of those actual choices. And we will probably get to something, but it's too early to talk about how, because we want to make sure that it fits Cyberpunk 2077. Everything we want to do, we want it to fit. That's a reoccurring theme in every interview. Every time they're asked about a certain gameplay element, a certain gameplay aspect, a mode, they said, yeah, it's a possibility, but we want it to fit in the context of the universe and the game as a whole of Cyberpunk 2077. I find that very good, because a lot of other studios, they're just trying to slap every other game mode that they can into games. I mean, how many games are adding a Battle Royale mode just for the sake of Battle Royale? For a lot of those games, does Battle Royale really fit in the context of the environment of the game? A lot of the times, no, but in the case of CyberPunk 2077, they're not going ahead and say, hey, multiplayer is gonna happen. No, they're saying we need to find a way to make it fit into the context of CyberPunk 2077. Even something as basic as New Game Plus, that could actually have some drastic gameplay ramifications, so they're still trying to make sure that it fits into the context of Cyberpunk 2077, and I find that incredibly reassuring. Whatever the case may be, Cyberpunk 2077's official release is not all too far off. It'll be hitting the PlayStation 4 on April 16, 2020. Let's just hope it doesn't see any delays, because that's what I'm scared about. I do not want to see this game be pushed back into the fall or whatever. I've been waiting long enough for this game. I hope come April 16th, we're able to play the game. Now, I know if there's any drastic things that'll cause a delay and the game will be much better off with it seeing a couple months off, obviously, then delay the game. I'm just hoping they get everything right by the time April 16th rolls around and the game is playable for all of us in its highest form. Alright, next up, Golem is a PlayStation 4 exclusive and a PlayStation VR exclusive that I was very excited for, and now we have an official release window and the fact that the game will be launching later this year. Golem will launch both physically and digitally for PlayStation VR this fall in North America and Europe, publisher Perp Games and developer Highwire Games announced. Here is an overview of the title. Built by a team of world-class industry veterans and described by Polygon as a super group of developers, Golem is one of the most eagerly anticipated games of the year. Featuring music from the award-winning composer Marty O'Donnell, creator of the soundtrack for Halo and Destiny, innovative game design by Jamie Grezmeyer, the game designer on Halo and Destiny, and developed by a team instrumental in some of the best-loved games of all time, Golem has the world-class pedigree to be a flagship title for PlayStation VR. The game has you take on the role of Twine, an adventurous kid who has been left critically injured by a serious accident. While you can't leave your bed, you develop an extraordinary ability to create and control large stone golems and see the world through their eyes. You can use your golems to explore an enormous abandoned city, collecting treasures and artifacts while unraveling a deeper mystery and discovering the connection between the city and your family. Designed from the ground up for VR, the game also has an innovative free movement control scheme and intense one-to-one melee combat that sees you feint, block, and counterattack your enemies. Golem has been in development for several years as Highwire Games have spent time refining and polishing the experience to the highest possible standard. Now they're ready to share what they've been working on with the rest of the world. Jamie Grezmeyer, creative director at Highwire, says, quote, "It's so gratifying to see our original vision for Golem come together into a full experience. We've really had to push ourselves and the technology, but I think the game is beautiful and I can't wait for everyone to be able to play it, and we're pretty old school, so it won't feel finished for us until we see it on store shelves." Rob Edwards, managing director of Perp Games, is thrilled to be publishing one of PlayStation VR's most highly anticipated exclusives, noting, "Golem has been a long time coming, but the wait is almost over. It is our honor to be working with such an amazing team of world-class talent. We can't wait to explore Golem's secrets." Again, Golem is one of those PlayStation VR games that I think could definitely be a standout game. However, at this point, PlayStation VR has a ton of games and a lot of depth to the game offerings. I know a long time ago, maybe a couple of years ago, you would think, hey, there's not a lot of compelling titles on PlayStation VR, and it's not worth my $250 or whatever the case may be. But there are a lot of high-quality games now. You look at Astrobot Rescue Mission, Tetris Effect, Resident Evil 7, Ace Combat 7 has a VR component, games like Golem are still on the way. There are a lot of high-quality VR titles, and I would highly recommend you to pick up a headset unless you're just waiting on the next generation headset, which at that point I could understand. However, I imagine that the PlayStation VR headset is going to be very, very cheap come this Black Friday. I could see it being down to $200 for some of those bundles. They'll want to sell a lot of those units ahead of the release of the PS5, and I think we could see a lot of those bundles down to $200 flat. That's just my 2 cents, and Golem is going to be another major title for PlayStation VR exclusively to VR come this fall. And lastly, I do want to note that No Man's Sky Beyond is doing incredibly well. We see the game selling really well. I believe it's the top seller on Steam right now, doing very well on the PlayStation 4 as well. And in a development update from Hello Games, head of studio Sean Murray expressed his gratitude to the community and gave some insight on how the past week has gone for the team. Quote, "It's hard to believe that No Man's Sky Beyond launched only a week ago. It has been a super intense and exciting time for us, but seeing the community begin to explore the new features, watching people gathering together in the space anomaly, building intricate contraptions, and obviously milking alien creatures has meant a lot to us. Adding big ambitious things to something already big and ambitious is never easy, but witnessing more than 2 million people play in the first 7 days was so humbling and overwhelming." That's a staggering number given that a lot of people gave up on No Man's Sky a while ago, but now in the first week, over 2 million people are playing the game. And remember, this isn't the final update to No Man's Sky. It's not like they're moving on from the No Man's Sky experience after this. No Man's Sky is going to continue to be updated. It's going to continue to become a better and bigger experience. And with Beyond, we just saw so many robust inclusions, including a deeper online component, PlayStation VR support, which is absolutely huge. And everything that's been noted is that the VR component in No Man's Sky works incredibly well and makes it almost like a new game. And even just thinking about a game like No Man's Sky, when that game was announced back in 2014, I thought from the get-go that it would be an absolutely incredible game with the utilization of VR. And at that point, the PlayStation VR headset wasn't even out yet, so at this point in 2019, to see all of that come together, hey, that's pretty amazing. And it'll be exciting how No Man's Sky evolves over the next few years, and it'll be exciting to see where Hello Games goes after this, because at some point you would think that they would create a new game, and in another major title, I believe they have a smaller experience in the works, but I'm talking about another major title, whether it be something off-branched of No Man's Sky or something completely new altogether, that remains to be seen. And that's gonna conclude this video. Again, CD Projekt Red is working on a lot of major features for CyberPunk 2077, but with everything, they want to make sure it fits within the context of the game. Golem, a highly anticipated PlayStation 4 and PlayStation VR exclusive, is launching this fall, and No Man's Sky Beyond is doing incredibly well, as it saw over 2 million players within week 1. That's gonna conclude this video. Sound off with all of your thoughts in the comment section down below. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.